Good afternoon and welcome to Beyond the Lines podcast. I'm your host, Nikki Watson, on this wonderful Wednesday. Thank you for joining me today. If you're catching this on the replay, please like and subscribe. We're here on Rumble, uploading to YouTube as well, and little old Substack. What do you guys think about Substack, huh? Crickets? No, I don't know. Okay, great. Well, we have had a day. We've had a day so far. We've had a morning so far. So the title of this show is Why Are They Like That? Is that the title, or is it Why Are They Like This? Yeah, why are they like this? I have been seeing this liberal podcaster. I guess she has a podcast. She's had it for a few years, number of years. She used to be on a show having to do with she's like maybe an interior designer. Am I right? And so she is very involved in politics, and her BFF have a show where she is, based on what I've seen, she is obviously anti-Trump and has the potentiality to be funny and quirky and sort of connective with people. I can definitely see how she's a voice for people that resonate with her. But on the other hand, why did they miss the mark so overtly, right? And so this is a comedy show. No, this is just another data point of how we are going down this road of rhetorical divide, but also just recognizing the labels that people call things, and the definitely the political rhetoric online, as well as you'll see some of it in person, obviously. And obviously, we have experienced so much of this over the last 4 or 5 years, right? Is this in real life, these in real life experiences that actually did hit us on our front doors. So the actual totalitarianism that we all experienced was not just in the virtual space, although it did have to do with the deplatforming and debanking and threatening and sanctioning and all of that, and removal of presence on public spaces in the public forum, in the public square, which is the digital commons. All that did happen, but we did experience in real life activities. So now we've sort of transitioned a little bit into this, continuing with the Trump era, like it or not, continuing in the Trump era, but also this Trump presidency, which has been really hard for the Democratic Party, liberal media, the old guard, the globalist NATO faction that has tried to, the Norm Eisen censorship industrial complex faction of the Never Trumpers, Billy Crystal, obviously Heather Cox Richardson, but this is a whole conglomerate of people and organizations and funding sources that have made it their entire business to fund the censoring of Americans with normal, regular views, and to try and make the majority seem as though they're not. And we've watched this, we've tracked it, we've chronicled it this whole time. And so that we continue to do. So this next character here, she again has this podcast that, and I'm sure people like her, but we're just looking at it to see and ask, why are they like this? And to really be reflective and offer a little bit of advice. But many will say that there is, and although I do believe that there is redemption for everybody, but when it comes to this character that they inevitably play, that they are projecting and then putting on, there's a free speech component to it. Obviously, everybody's entitled to their opinion. Everybody's entitled to their free speech, as long as it's obviously there's protected speech and unprotected speech. If you are, this has been the whole discrepancy, and I don't want to go into it necessarily too much right now, as far as what is protected speech and not, and are you protected from losing your job potentially if you do something overtly grotesque and it goes viral, and there are moral and ethical concerns related to it, and you're a public school teacher, perhaps, is it fair, or what is, is it people are losing their jobs and people are upset about it, and other people are saying that it comes with the territory of acting a fool, right? So without further ado, let's just go to the videotape. So we've seen a couple of these clips have gone viral, but this particular clip has gone viral, and it also includes this, she calls herself a YouTuber, but her name is Kate. I don't know her last name. Her podcast is called Liberty Hangout, and she has been, her rise to fame, you can just look her up, Kate's Unsafe Spaces, you can just look her up. Her rise to fame was in, 2018, college student, pro Second Amendment, something. And then she did get involved with Turning Point USA somehow, and then just started her then boyfriend had started this channel, and then, or he wasn't her boyfriend. Okay. I obviously read the details a little too much because I know, but they were not together when he started this channel called Liberty Hangout, and then they met, and then now she is the main podcaster on it, and she goes around and she does the talking to kids on college campuses, talking to students, but also she's been covering the protests and the No Kings and the Antifa and all that stuff. So I've seen, she's only come across my desk within the last 6 months or so, and I watched some of her stuff from the No Kings protests. And one of the clips did make it to this woman's desk, her desk. And so that's what we are going to watch now, because people picked it up on, Colin Rugg is one who picked it up on X and is sharing it. So let's just judge for yourself. We're going to screen share here. I didn't even check to see if the sound is working. I assume it is, but I should really check because it's been a day with technology. So. Let's make sure. Let's make sure it's all working. Very good. I think it is. Yeah. But we always have to check. Yep. Okay, very good. All right, let's just go to the clip here.
Said she'd be happy if I died.
Finally, if you think this Zoran thing is happening just in New York, and you think people are waking up only in New York City, you're mistaken. Look at this clip of a wine mom at the No Kings March. Play the clip.
Whatever his name was?
Charlie Kirk, ma'am?
Yeah, him is horrible. Horrible.
Charlie Kirk is horrible?
Yes, I'm glad he's not here.
You're glad he's dead?
Yes.
Why would you say something like that, ma'am?
Because he was horrible on the campuses, the college campuses. Horrible person.
You know what? I do the exact same thing.
Well,
would you be
sorry.
glad if I would die?
Maybe. I'd have to think about it.
You should be ashamed of yourself.
Be ashamed of yourself.
Your friend just said she'd be happy if I died.
I think we need to...
So listen up, Democratic establishment. You can either jump on board with this shit, or we're coming after you in the same way that we come after MAGA. Period. Stop taking AIPAC money. Go on an I'm sorry I took AIPAC money atonement tour if you want to stay in power. Stop missing out on these big rallies. Hakeem and Chuck should have been front and center introducing the next mayor of New York City, but no, they wouldn't show up because they're pussies. They're pussies that are beholden to the same corporations that that helped Donald Trump get elected. And this is just an embarrassment. Kudos to Bernie, to AOC, to Zoran. And that woman out in somewhere middle America,
Florida,
saying, fuck Charlie Kirk, he was a racist, he was a piece of shit. There are so many more of us than there are of them. And these Democrats that continue to play patty cake with corporations and lobbyists, nobody wants that. Nobody wants you. We want politicians to speak like freely Obama, and look at what the benefit is. Look at what is happening in New York. And you dipshits are sitting on the sidelines, running your social media like complete dorks. It's embarrassing. Get your shit together. Hakeem and Chuck, seriously, get your shit together, because the Democratic Party is moving on. We are moving.
Are you? Where are you moving to? I wonder. Where are you moving to? I wonder. We're going to watch this again, actually, because we're going to stop it. We're going to stop it and then play it again. Okay. Sorry. Just, I don't know how else to do it. So, yeah. So now that we got the full video there, I think we should just go back and listen to it again and just stop it here. This is also this is also lesson in media literacy, because let's just go back and deconstruct it and just ask some basic questions. Or make some points rather too. Questions, points. Let's go.
Finally, if you think this Zoran thing is happening just in New York and you think people are
first of all, hold on. Let's
waking up only in New York City, you're mistaken. Look at this clip.
Okay. So she's trying to make the argument that she's trying to compare who she calls this wine mom, okay, because they do this red, blue and wine or something. Heather Cox Richardson, actually, I think it has a thing tonight. It's red wine, or it's red wine and blue or something. And it's basically drinking, wine virtually and watching Kamala Harris do, Zoom calls. And so Heather Cox Richardson is going to be talking tonight. You have to sign up for or whatever. But this has been going on for, years, this organization. But anyway, I guess there's this phrase about being a wine mom, which this old lady is probably, she may drink wine, but I wouldn't call her a wine mom. She's in the Richardson demographic. She's obviously, in that target market, right? And I wouldn't necessarily categorize it as a wine mom. And also, I would not categorize her as a Zoran, what's his name? Mamdani. I wouldn't actually even compare the two to say, you think what's going on in New York isn't happening everywhere. People are sick of this. So she's making this connection. Okay. That woman who lives in Florida is not resonating with Mamdani. Okay. And so you're trying to make the connection that, you think Mamdani is just a one-off. You mean this Muppet that they have basically rolled out onto everybody? And no, it is shitty for New York, and it does suck, and it is very cringe. But y'all are making your bed. So, and everybody knows what it is. Everybody knows that it's a super, it is a lesson to be learned. But We know that he is like a Justin Trudeau. I mean, you guys are so out of touch with so many different things that you claim to be in touch with. And so I think that we could probably on a different day enjoy a glass of wine together ourselves and just chat and laugh and banter and troll, and we could probably have fun. But I don't think it makes sense to try and present Mamdani like he's this trend, right? But you're going to try and do that. But not everybody's on the same page about that. And I'm pretty sure this wine mom who, is willing to say grotesque things about the deceased that we all saw get publicly assassinated for speaking, for exercising freedom of speech. Okay. That you couldn't do under authoritarianism and actual fascism, guys, that they're protesting against. Okay. So they're trying to say that this is a one-off, that Mamdani is not a one-off, and that they're trying to compare this with what's going on in New York.
Clip of a wine mom at the No Kings March. Play the clip.
Whatever his name was?
Charlie Kirk, ma'am?
Yeah, him is horrible. Horrible.
Charlie Kirk is horrible?
Yes, I'm glad he's not here.
Okay, so I just want to stop that for a second. I'm glad he's not here. Let's just take a beat for a minute. Let's just take a beat for a second, okay? Okay. Now, in your life, you may say like, oh, good riddance to that person. Or I don't like that person, or I hate that person, or I hate when that happens, or I hate that he said that or did that. But would you, especially knowing everything that we know, like I guess we'll just take Charlie Kirk for an example, because I really can't even think of another reasonable, rational example because we know that when you hold hate in your heart, or you hold disdain or all of that, it's not good for you. And that's not going to, it only ends up eating away at your health and your heart and your spirit. Right? This is the whole psychology around Trump derangement syndrome that we talk about, is having this animosity towards other people and also specific people. So let's just say you didn't like somebody. Okay. But do you understand the relevance? Just because you don't like this person, can you have the ability to see and reflect? And I know that this takes a certain level of awareness and perhaps emotional intelligence as well. And I would say it's decency and okay, but have we become so desensitized because of the simulacrum, because we think that we're watching a movie? Like, some people think that they see it in the box, and so they didn't know Charlie Kirk. So they didn't even think to get to know him or even get to know his character, or who they don't know the influence and the impact that he had, and obviously still has, but that he had on a generation, and his role in politics. So, you may not like him personally, as in not knowing him, but as the character Charlie Kirk, you may not have agreed with it. But have we become so desensitized that we think we're watching a movie and we just saw one of the main characters killed? Have we become so desensitized and so out of touch with culture and with the rising generation and with society? You know, XF says that the left forgot how to do sociology. Have we gotten so unable to connect these things because of the virtual simulacrum? Because we do think we're watching this movie where characters just can be killed off. You know, and it's the fact that Trump's been around for so long. It's like season 10 of Trump. And they're like, when is this going to end? We've been asking you to take out the main character for 10 years now, but yet they're still having to watch the show. Can you imagine having to watch a show with the main character that you just despise? Why would you even tune in? So let's say that you didn't like Charlie Kirk. Okay. But you still know he was a real person, right? You still know that he did affect real people. Are you so disconnected from reality that you believe that you can completely discredit and dehumanize and delegitimize and almost get rid of an entire population of people who was positively impacted by Charlie Kirk? So maybe it's the misinformation and the clips and the stuff that are presenting him in a way that you may not have agreed with everything that he said. And you could probably in your own time, I highly doubt that you would be able to, you could make the argument of what you have to say about him. What did he do that was so grotesque and so wretched and horrible? What did he do that you feel so compelled to not only have that thought and that energy in your private time, but you feel so compelled to go out in public, not just say it to another person in public, right? So now we're moving out of your own private thoughts, out of in your own home, talking to just people you know on the phone. You're actually going out in public. You're then talking about it with other people in public. You're then answering a question that is being filmed and being dispersed to millions of people. Now, maybe she didn't realize that it was going to be dispersed to millions of people. Let's say that maybe, but the woman did have a microphone. She was being forthright about what she was doing there. This woman didn't think she was just talking to somebody privately. She knew she was talking to someone publicly. So then to say it publicly that you are glad that not just that someone's not here anymore, he didn't just move. He didn't just move towns. He didn't just leave the country. He didn't just quit the business. He was killed, but not just privately, like he died of the jab or he died of, pneumonia in the hospital. He was in there for 3 weeks. He got sick. No, he didn't just die because somebody doxed him like they had for years and then showed up at his house and murdered him. He didn't die in a helicopter crash. No. It's okay. You see how many layers of common sense and logic and empathy and emotional intelligence that we have to literally fucking climb through in order to validate and make it okay for this woman to say this out fucking loud? This is what we're doing. You see how much time and effort we've already spent just digging through the fucking mud to get to some sort of, make this make sense. He was publicly, meaning in front of 1,000 students at a college, and it was also live streamed. So my children, your children, everybody's children across the world watch this man be publicly executed. Okay? That's what happened. Okay? He was a political figure. He had very strong Christian views. So you may not agree with his political views. You may not agree with his religious views. Fine. But how can you ignore all of the things and thoughts that we just went through and human characteristics? How can you just, I'm going to go straight to, I'm glad he's not here anymore. Did he really have that much of an effect on you? How worse was your life because Charlie Kirk was alive? And how much better is it now that he fucking got murdered on national television? How much better is your life now that you feel so compelled to mix the No Kings protest? It doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean anything, guys, and everybody knows it. So how can you go there and with this on your heart think that you're protesting a king, or at least just you don't like Trump, you don't like what he's doing, you think what he's doing is unlawful because Richardson tells you that it's unlawful. Everything is within the law. Everything is within the Constitution. Everything is within his executive authority. Like it or not. He's not a dictator. He's not a king. You're all like, where is he? Where is he? He's not doing well. He's out in South Korea right now. To feel so compelled to make that part of your identity that you don't even think twice about it and you just rattle off, I'm glad he's not here anymore. And then Kate, who is a young mom, she has, I think, two, young wife and mom, who has security with her, by the way, who has to have security with her. She says, I do the same thing that Charlie Kirk does. Do you wish that I was dead? And then now we're making the argument for this girl's death. Then she turns and says, your friend over there just said, like, this is all a big joke. Now, you could make the argument that they're trying, that, Kate is playing into this. She's allowing them to say what they want to say. She's not forcing them to say anything. They don't have to speak to her. She's going there to document this moment in time. That's what she's doing. So they don't have to talk to her. You don't have to say anything. They don't have to say anything. They don't have to comment on Charlie Kirk. They don't have to say anything. But yet they feel compelled to say these things that are unequivocally beyond the pale. After they've spent how many years trying to convince MAGA that them and Trump and anybody that even questions anything is beyond the pale, when this is actually so overt in everybody's face beyond the pale. So let's go to this lady. So she's going to laugh at her friend saying she wishes she, okay. So maybe they are having this sort of like psychosis experience where they are realizing as the words are coming out of their mouth, they're sort of wrestling and toggling with what they're saying. Like maybe they are having some sort of moment where they're realizing it. And that's why the one lady like giggled and she laughed about it, because she's like, well, gosh, I'm just going to giggle because this seems like, are we joking about this? We're joking. We're obviously kidding. We're kidding, right? Or no, they're not kidding. So if we're going to joke about things, are these the things that we want to joke about? Is my question. And if we're not joking, then what are we doing?
You're glad he's dead?
Yes,
Why would you say something like that, ma'am?
because he was horrible on the campuses, the college campuses.
He was so horrible. What did he do? He gave students a microphone. Yes. If you really didn't like what he did and you didn't like the things that he said based on the clips that you saw, yes, you could say he was horrible. Sure, you could say that. But then think about what you're going to say next. You know what I mean? Like, think about, yeah, he's horrible, but like, I'm not, you know what I'm saying? Like, what the fuck? Like, what is that? What is that?
Horrible person.
You know what? I do the exact same thing.
Well, I'm
Would you
so
be
sorry.
glad if I would die?
Maybe. I'd have to think about it.
You should be ashamed of
You
yourself.
should be ashamed of yourself.
Your friend just said she'd be happy if I died.
I think we need to.
So listen up, Democratic establishment. You can either jump on board with.
Wait, hold on. This lady, by the way, she loves Obama. Okay, there's pictures of her. Hold on here. We'll just do it real quick. We'll just do it here real quick. Okay. All right. Because there's such hypocrites, you know, and it, like that. Okay. Here we go. Oh, it's not. Hold on. Obama. Images. Yeah, here. Okay, here we go. So here, we'll stop sharing that. And then we'll share this photo of her and Obama. That's all. That's all. Here. That's all. That's her and her podcast host or her friend. I've Had It podcast is their podcast. Okay. There they are. Okay. She loves Obama. So listen, you Democrats. She's lecturing the Democrat leadership now, which we would lecture as well, but she's lecturing them like she doesn't love Obama, didn't love Obama, talked great things about Biden. Like they have no like moral compass related to these issues. Maybe in their private life, she's like, great. You know, her husband had whatever, like you go into her story or whatever. But like publicly, there's just no moral compass that we can see at all. All right. So let's go back to the video and we'll just finish watching it.
This shit, or we're coming after you in the same way that we come after MAGA. Period. Stop taking AIPAC money. Go on and I'm sorry I took AIPAC money, atonement.
Okay, we're coming after you the same way we come after Obama, same way we come after MAGA. So this is what we have been sort of trying to help Richardson understand in our deconstructions of her her stuff, her videos, is that Richardson's trying to do this thing where she's like trying to define the moment that we find ourselves in, acting as though it's going to be this where, the people rise up against the elite establishment, right? So she's doing MAGA face, and she wants to present like there's more of us than there are of them, meaning more, even though Trump won the popular vote, he won the electoral college and the popular vote. But so they're trying to say that they are actually in the majority because people don't want authoritarianism. People don't want a king. Okay. They don't like Trump. They don't want to see ICE, even though plenty of people on the streets of their communities and their neighborhoods say, we want the National Guard here. This should have been done a long time ago. And so they're projecting this and crafting this story that this is now the moment that, the people need to rise up against the establishment. It's like, well, that's like, what do you think MAGA just did? Like, what do you think Trump just did? He went through, he actually overcame campaign finance reform. And yes, you can make the argument that he had to work with elites. Of course, we're not trying to get rid of elites. Obviously, he had to work with elites. Like, that's the dumbest thing to even suggest, that he wouldn't work with elites. But he was also, he was his own person. He was known outside of politics. He wasn't like Obama. He wasn't like Bill Clinton. He wasn't like any other president that came before him. He had his own brand, and he had his own sphere of influence. And so he made a choice to go through the Republican Party. See what happened? So he actually is doing and did what you guys would love and seems to be calling upon your party to do. So now you're saying, what if you don't get on board with the program, we're going to do to you what we do to MAGA. What is it that you do to MAGA? Wish harm on them? Celebrate and say you're glad that they were publicly assassinated? What are you saying? What are you suggesting? Or just calling them out, making fun of them. I mean, I don't think you need to warn them about you making fun of them. You can just make fun of them. You don't have to warn them that like you're going to do to them what you do to MAGA, whatever that is. We're trying to actually figure out and think about what it is that means right now.
Tour, if you want to.
The AIPAC thing, right? Because Bernie Sanders never took any AIPAC money. Did Bernie Sanders take AIPAC money? Bernie Sanders has spent his entire career promising things and not delivering. So for you to go on this tirade saying Mamdani is the future of the party, oh, this is actually the majority across the country, and then saying good for Bernie Sanders and AOC and their Fight the Oligarchy tour that's paid for by oligarchs, you're still missing the mark. And you're so just vile. So you're taking a ton of risks here by being so vile. And people on X are making a case that, this is not protected speech, actually. So, you're taking a lot of risks by speaking in this way and doing this whole thing and being so vile, like I said, for what? To prop up AOC and Bernie Sanders and Mamdani? And then you're going to say, you should all go on I'm not taking AIPAC money tour. I mean, how long have you been talking about that? Has it been longer than Marjorie Taylor Greene? Has it been longer than Matt Gaetz? Because I'm pretty sure out of everybody in Congress, Matt Gaetz was the only one that went up there and said, I don't take lobbying money. Remember that? We watched it on the show here when they all booed him. So, I know some Democrats also are now doing this whole, like, I'm not going to take AIPAC money and everything. I'm not, I understand the support in the whatever's left of the Democratic Party. but to create MAGA or America First people, let's say, like Marjorie Taylor Greene, or even Trump supporters, or even Trump himself, to act like they are to dehumanize them so much and to separate them so much, and then use the talking point that they have been advocating for. What do you think Thomas Massey has been doing? Would you not consider him MAGA? Maybe you don't consider him MAGA. But I don't know if there's ever been an opinion about Massey on that. But so to dehumanize people so much, and because you could really bring people together. You could agree, you could say, these are the things that we agree on. Like, yeah, we don't want, like, you're going in this really crazy direction with dehumanizing people in this very disgusting and evil way. And instead of recognizing, and that woman doesn't even know what AIPAC is. I can almost assure you that woman that was being interviewed by Kate does not know what AIPAC is, because they don't promote that to their audience. They don't know what that is. I mean, some of them probably do, but that's not for you to say. So again, there are so many opportunities for people to come together. There are so many opportunities. And Kate's not doing that work. She's not, this isn't like, what about, this isn't saying, well, what about Trump's rhetoric? Or what about, this is about looking at these clips right now in this context and making our best, in good faith, making these judgments and doing this deconstruction, and really providing media literacy in this sense of breaking down these videos and these talking points and what these influencers are saying. I mean, this woman's podcast gets hundreds of thousands of views. And so we're just looking at, somebody said on X that she's the liberal Joe Rogan. I mean, Joe Rogan's I think he's if not the number one, but within the realm of, podcasters in the world. So that's why we're looking at this too.
Stay in power. Stop missing out on these big rallies.
They're not that big. And Trump even said Chuck Schumer's going to get primaried because he's unpopular. All the things that he's doing right now. So this is a lot of emotion. This is a lot of assumptions, and this is the law of attraction, really. Is we're going to just manifest the shit out of this, and we're going to just talk about how Bernie Sanders, fights the oligarchy, right? Okay.
Hakeem and Chuck should have been front and center introducing the next mayor of New York City, but no, they wouldn't show up because they're pussies. They're pussies that are beholden to the same corporations that Donald Trump
that got Donald Trump elected. Yeah, we know. They're all beholden to a lot of corporations because, this is corporatism. So this has been a long time. This has been happening for a long time. So MAGA knows. Everybody's gotten educated over the years. Everybody's sort of familiar with all this information. So we get it. But I don't know if it comes as a shock to you.
That helped Donald Trump get elected. And this is just an embarrassment.
Charlie Kirk also helped Donald Trump get elected. A lot of people helped Donald Trump get elected. Even you, because of your just horridness. I think contributed to realizing, what actually is jumping the shark. I think this gal's jumped the shark.
Embarrassment. Kudos to Bernie, to AOC, to Zoran. And that woman out in somewhere middle America.
I'm sorry, Zoran. I'm sorry. Is that what it is? I thought it was Zohan. I thought it was Zohan. Gosh, when I try and do these things here, we'll just keep playing.
Saying, fuck Charlie Kirk. He was a racist. He was a piece of shit.
That's not what she said. And why would you say that? Do you I guess it's for like shock value, but there's other ways to do shock value than, you know what I'm saying? Like,
so many more of us than there are of them. And these Democrats.
now you're going to use people hating Charlie Kirk to rally for this project that's Mamdani, that he was, look at his backstory and how he changes his accent every chance that he gets. And he wants to, make New York great again? But with all of his great ideas, they just are not practical in real life today. It's just not practical in real life today. Mamdani. Is it Zoran? Zoran. It's such a, because not being able to pronounce his name is like part of it, right? That's like part of the appeal. Zoran. Is that it? Zohran. Okay.
Democrats that continue to play patty cake with corporations and lobbyists. Nobody wants
corporations and lobbyists. She's on, has a huge show on YouTube. Like, they want to just they're so hypocritical. It's like they're playing this role, this part of just being as, just attracting just the worst in people. And you could make that case for, and we have made the case, because that's the case against like MAGA and Trump, is that MAGA's racist and Trump, he just says the grossest things and he says terrible things. And we've talked about how he's speaking to different people all at one time and how difficult it is for him to actually do what he's doing. But there's a lot of confusion about what he's doing, and people are confusing the public about things that he's doing when he's just also doing normal things. And so, yes, there is a segment of the population that are racist and vile, and actually we're going to watch a video where this girl here is actually quite racist. So yes, there is but you don't, yes, that's not most people, right? There's going to be these subcultures and these segments of the population that have these different views. But you don't be that person. You know what I'm saying?
That nobody wants you. We want politicians to speak freely and look at what the benefit is. Look at what is happening in New York. And you dipshits are sitting on the sidelines, running your social media like complete dorks. It's embarrassing. Get your shit together. Hakeem and Chuck, seriously, get your shit together, because the Democratic Party is moving on. We are moving. Finally.
You're like moving on. Like you guys aren't going anywhere. Like, you have nowhere to go. Like, what are you? I mean, even Abby, what's her name on she was on Charlemagne, Abby Phillips from CNN. She was actually talking positively about Trump. If you guys saw that viral video. Oof, I need to like sage after that. I think, say some prayers, man, because this is, we're looking, I mean, no wonder we're having a lot of technical difficulties because this shit is like not healthy. But we're doing this for the historical record, and we're exposing it on this little channel. Like and subscribe. Okay, let's go to the next clip that we're going to show. What did you guys think about that there? Was that wild? Was that okay? Was that normal? Am I missing it completely? It's not looking good for her on X though, because people are seeing what's going. People are seeing this clip, and that's not. It's not looking good. But there's some sort of a market for it, you know, and that's what I mean. This is oh shit. So this. This other. Okay, never mind. This is a different clip. I thought it was the same person. Yeah, a lot of views here on this, so I don't know what's gonna transpire there. So this is this is another clip that we're going to see. Oh, of this woman. Okay, so you guys all saw here. So here we're gonna skip a little bit around, but we're gonna watch a few more videos here, a few more clips. So the first one, which I think that you all saw, was the viral video of Don Lemon talking about Megyn Kelly. Okay, so let's just share that, and then we will talk about it.
What does chop mean?
Chop means like is Megyn Kelly chopped?
I don't know what that means. I don't know what is chop. I've heard it, but I don't know what that means. What does chop mean?
She's gonna get mad at me, dude. I don't know if I want this here.
What does chop mean?
Chop means like not hot.
Yeah, she's chopped. I don't know, the whole MAGA look.
It's all the MAGA ladies.
Too
They
much.
look kind of looks like a Barbie doll covered in like WD-40.
I think she looks trans.
Let's end on that note.
She looks clockable.
Is Megyn?
Don Lemon, Don. We were even talking about you the other day when we were doing a show with XF, and we were saying that, you know, you could, if life hands you lemons, you can make some lemonade. You don't have to be this way. You know, it seems like you could just shift a little bit. You don't have to be making these crazy claims, and, you know, you can go in a better direction. You know, you ask good questions. You seem like you know, are sort of maybe sincere in certain ways, and maybe you just don't realize how you come across. But so I don't think we need to be talking about Megyn Kelly necessarily. I mean, because you are not, you know, you have been overtly, you know, opposing MAGA. So you're putting her on. You're running risks, I guess is what I'm saying. You're running risks of appearing, because you guys have taken this virtual stance of being like pro-women in a way, you know, except for the men's and women's bathroom thing, and taking over women's rights and stuff. Aside from that, you've been like pro, you know, anti-sexist and you know, pro-feminism and stuff like that. So to take a woman and decide that you're going to like objectify her is, again, opposite of what you have promoted yourself as a liberal and a, you know, the opposite end of Trump, and then, you know, not, you know, more on the Democratic Party side, right? So I don't think it's I think you're going down the wrong road when you take a woman, especially one that you don't really like anyway, and you're going to objectify her now, and you're going to talk about her. But then to say that she is something about WD-40, to dehumanize her in that way, right? And then to use trans as an insult, that's wild. To use trans as an insult is pretty wild. But these folks do it. So I don't know if it's like a trend or if it's like again, the sociological component here, the psychological component, isn't ingrained? Is it something that is just seeking to come out? Is it a shtick? Because then why have you done this whole other thing for so long, really promoting woke, but really integrating into institutions on a policy level where it's affecting everybody on a local level, to where parents now have to opt kids out of curriculum and protest this, and like, no, you're not going to have that. You're not going to teach that to elementary school kids, right? So it's not just this thing that we can really joke about, because this is the exact same thing what I was saying before, is like, it's not really something that we can joke about. It's not just something that's in the virtual. We're not just watching a movie. It's these things that have actually come to everybody's front door on a local level, having to face these issues and these questions. So to make a joke about it, and then to sort of do this play where you're going to act like you're using it as an insult, that just is like wild. So let's go to the clip of the liberal podcast
Kelly
we're just watching. Welch, this was a clip from back in April, a show that she did on her podcast where she was actually complimenting Chinese propaganda for making JD Vance look like a cross-dresser, or implying that he's a cross-dresser. Okay. So this is a clip from that. We do different things around here. Okay.
At the Naval Observatory. I think he's got a little trunk, and I think it's got his makeup and his eyelashes and his eyeshadow and his blush. I think we've got feather boas. I think we've got fishnet hose. I think we have stilettos.
You think stilettos?
I think we have a full-blown, he's dying to be a drag queen. And I get it. Drag queens are fabulous.
Right. They're fabulous.
I would love to be a drag queen too. And I think in another world, he could have been his realized self. China is showing him, like, look, we know this is who you are on the inside. And think about this too. China probably has psychological profile on him, and they might have some espionage stuff on him that he is, right, gay or cross-dresser or whatever. And so this doesn't happen with anybody else. It's happening with him because everybody sees it, that he's the biggest closet queen on the planet. He's dying to do this.
Right. And he went to the yassified camp of Peter Thiel and came out a completely different person. Here's my favorite.
So do you care this? So the time that I had to get a kick ass. You better move the baby or Lucy.
Here's the deal. I think that's what he would love to do in public.
I just want to say he basically does that in public.
Right.
I just want to say that the Chinese troll of this is it's just hashtag goals.
It is.
It is so good. And I wish that the Democrats would learn a lesson, because this is the way that MAGA they attack blue cities, they attack blue states, they attack blue politicians, they attacked a very successful, productive presidency of Joe Biden. They attacked where Barack Obama, one of the most popular presidents of my lifetime, where he was born, made up lies. And I wish that we would get a little China in us and just fucking go hard in the paint at these closet queens that sit around and pick on the people that they're not brave enough to be.
Right.
And we all know that JD Vance is dying. We're a news cycle away from him popping a smoky eye, and China has brought it to life. And I could just watch that shit on loop. And I have a suspicion that JD himself might watch it on loop.
Okay. So, whatever, like, and JD trolls himself. We've seen this with the JD face and the hair. JD Vance trolls himself. There isn't a question he's afraid of. He will repost them, everybody making fun of him. Okay, so there's that. But there's also this so on one hand, you could say, well, JD Vance presents himself as this masculine man, and which he does, but like he also doesn't in a way. Like he is very soft and empathetic, and there's something loving about, and I know people are like, I don't agree with whatever. I'm letting you know, like it or not, these are the things about him. There's a way about him that he does. And he also has really difficult conversations, and he says a lot of directive signal messaging to a lot of different people when he gives these speeches. And like when he was at the Brussels with the thing talking about freedom of speech and the censorship industrial complex. So he has really direct, hard conversations with him, even just in Israel this past week with him going to in Jerusalem, that the difference here and what it is that he's actually doing, aside from the fact that his wife is, someone that you would think that she would appreciate or something, just based on her own metrics. Okay. Based on her own metrics. To use this as a troll against him. So maybe they think that they're trolling him and that they're trying to get under his skin, because I understand this. I want to do what China does. Can't we just do what MAGA does? Right? This is the whole, like, the left can't meme. And this is how MAGA's won the culture wars. So how, like, they're so frustrated they can't do this, because humor is based in reality, and it's not the establishment punching down, you see? So with her saying, she just said about Obama, they do this to Obama. They tried to take Obama's birthplace. They tried to smear him. You're speaking from a place of privilege as the establishment, and everybody knows it. So it's not funny, and it falls flat, and it is tone deaf. And that's why you can't win the culture war from that respect, because it's, you can't do the punching down as the establishment, you see? So using the drag queen as a troll to JD Vance himself, he may care a little bit in a way, like his ego, but he doesn't care as much, because it's not landing. And the most important point of this, thank you for waiting for me to get there, is that she's using the queen and the cross-dressing as an insult. She's not using it as a term of endearment. She's not using it as like, and she's saying, she's doing this passive aggressive thing. Like, I love drag queens, but he punches down to people that he's not brave enough to be. So she's critiquing him for maybe not supporting trans people, right? And saying that they're more brave than he could be, because he's actually a closet cross-dresser. And she still despises him. And she's using it as, if she actually genuinely believed that he was a cross-dresser, and that she felt as though he could actually be liberated, as cross-dressers are, being able to, if they're liberated, then and they're brave, then do we really live in authoritarianism? I'm not sure. I'm not sure if they're, free to be who they are, and that's brave, or, so there's just a lot of mixed messaging there. But the point is that just as Don Lemon was insulting Megyn Kelly by saying she looks trans, is the same way that Welch here is insulting JD Vance by saying that he's a crossdresser. Now, it doesn't stop there. We have one more clip because this seems to be how she sees things or presents things or in her mind. And maybe this is just a strategy of trolling people, because I think that there is a wanting to have that strategy. I think there is a strategy of trolling people, but I think they've jumped the shark, I think is what this whole thing is about. My whole point.
To swear her in. And the reason, America, he refuses to swear her in. And the reason, America, the reason, world, that he refuses to swear her in is because little Moses Mike Grinder Johnson worships two things: Donald Trump and his closeted life. And he will go to the ends of the earth to do anything for Kanks, for this dementia-ridden, diaper-wearing sack of shit. And he weaponizes his faith all day, every day, to rural Americans that have some sort of grudge. Why can't I get ahead? Why can't I get ahead? You can't get ahead because you vote for pieces of shit like Moses Mike Grinder Johnson, who kisses the ass of billionaires. And these billionaires think you are not worthy of.
So she's using Moses Mike Grinder Johnson, which is not a terrible, and the Moses I wouldn't, but like, yeah, it's funny. It's a joke. I get it. Like, and we'll look, Trudeau and Macron. And I mean, from a sociological perspective and from a human behavior and what motivates people and what drives people, we could spend hours and hours on talking about those relationships and really how homosexuality is part of some of these dynamics, right? We saw too with the who was that, the staffer, right, that got caught doing the thing. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that we don't know about as the public, right? I mean, people's private lives are their private life. I mean, we're not going to go into the anchor, the other journalist influencer who we've talked about here before. Right. I mean, people's lives are, you could speculate and you wonder about these different relationships and motivations. And especially when you're learning about, just the history of families and relationships and such. So could you make the claim that, Mike Johnson is a closeted, either he's actually gay or he is, sure. I mean, you could do that to a lot of different people. But I don't think she's doing that with good faith. I mean, she's not actually doing like a psychological profile in trying to understand power dynamics and what motivates people, right? Okay, so we give to a lot of benefit of the doubt. I know. But then she also, though, criticizes him for his faith, for his public faith, right? And this is about their misidentification of Christian nationalism. They probably want to say like dominionism, but they do this whole Christian nationalism thing where they want to make people afraid that just because if people are talking, I mean, we've done shows on this and, it's going to be a little thread, especially with that little James Tallarico that they're rolling out in Texas, trying to be a Christian, but, denounce Christian nationalism. But she's trying to make the argument that he is using his Christian faith from a policy perspective. And I haven't seen anything overtly that he's done. He's doing, I don't maybe agree with all of his policy decisions or whatever he's doing, but he's managing the situation right now as a Speaker of the House. That's, MAGA. He's Republican. Like, he's managing the situation right now in an unprecedented time with the government shutdown and such. But to say that he is doing this Christian thing where he's using his values to do policy and stuff, I don't see that. And so then to mesh the two and say that he's, to criticize him for his faith and make these claims about him, and then to insinuate that he is a closet, he's in the closet, and he does stuff at home that, that's who he is, as a way to demean him. I mean, or is it not? Am I missing it? Is it not to demean him? It sounds like it's quite to demean him. So if he's gay, who cares? That's the whole weird thing about all of this, is like, nobody cares. But the rhetoric from the Democratic Party propagandists and the Democratic Party themselves is trying to make everything like the old speaker, what's her face? Pierre, what's her name? Is to make everything about that. So why are you making it out to be like a bad thing? Like you're chastising him. What? Because you want to shame him for being in the closet? What if he is? What if he is in the closet? Why would you shame him and use that to demean him and to, you know what I'm saying? Like, you can't have it both ways.
Livable wages. They think that you're not worthy of health care. And this is so sickening that the Speaker of the House, that no Republicans check this little pipsqueak, this little DL demon queen, and that he is such a defender and protector of pedophilia.
Why is that? Because they say that Trump's a pedophile. That's why. I think that's why. I don't know. He's a defender of pedophilia. Oh, because they won't release the Epstein files. That's what it is too. Oh, okay. Yeah. Because they won't release the Epstein files. Got it. And how much authority does the Speaker of the House actually have at this time? I mean, they're working together. This has been standard operating procedure for 50 years. This whole thing, 50, however, go back years. To criticize this moment in this way just seems like it doesn't have integrity. It's very hypocritical. It's not trying to actually, it's just getting, views and likes and doing influencer culture, and, it's the grift. So, grift away, I suppose grift away. And to say that they don't care about healthcare, it's, I don't know, it's just a weird take, if we're, and I guess here's what I'm thinking too, is like, maybe they get a pass to talk about people this way. Are you allowed to talk derogatory in this way when you're on the right side? Which is, I guess, not the right side. Do you get a pass then? I mean, because words matter, words have meaning. And that's what we've been trying to understand too here is, all these labels that are thrown around to inevitably just discredit and silence people instead of being able to have actual conversations and to be able to validate other perspectives. But it seems like there is this rhetoric and this side that doesn't want to, be rational or reasonable. Seems, I understand the frustration for sure. So I think the last video we're going to watch is, let's see if I have it set. Let's see if I have it set. Oh, I think I do. I do. Okay. So this is the last clip that we're going to play. And this is actually a couple of the guys that are on the show here on Instagram. We're talking about her. So let's watch the whole clip here. And, just again, like they are, she's allowed to talk like this, but we're just doing a little check on it.
family members that are MAGA?
No.
You'll get the biggest kick. Let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Do you have any family members that are MAGA?
No.
You'll get the biggest kick out of this, Monet, and I don't think Pumps knows this. So during this most recent election, my husband, I live in I would say a 99.9% white neighborhood. Okay. So my husband comes home from work and he goes, well, the weirdest thing just happened. The house 2 blocks south of us just put up 2 MAGA signs in their front yard and they're black.
No.
How's that?
No.
For the only black family that lives in this godforsaken whiteness and they're fucking MAGA. He goes, it's just such a disappointment to me.
No.
Yes. And they had 2. They're a corner house and they had. And I was just like, because I remember when they moved in, Roman, my son that told me, the prom send-offs, the culture, he was like, I love this. We need to have more color in this neighborhood. And I go, I agree. That family popped up MAGA signs.
Black Republicans is something I will never understand.
I agree.
We're cooning though, right? We're the ones sitting up here cooning, right?
I guess. Wow.
If that's not a coon, I don't know what is. Like, you got the little ring, and he's letting these white women. Okay.
He's letting these white women tell him what is black and what black can be. Exactly. Black cannot be MAGA. Black cannot vote for Trump. Black has to be what we say it is, the white liberal. I would never understand black conservatives.
I will never understand gay sex.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Like, dude, you're talking about you can't understand something. You're getting drilled.
No. People, she said, we were just talking about how we need some more color in this neighborhood. I got an idea for you there, Miss Lady, right? How about you and your husband or whoever you're married to? How about you sell that nice house in that all-white neighborhood? I got some cheap real estate I can sell you in Detroit. There's some spots available for you if you want to go in and move in and have that. Get all the color you want.
Right. If you want so much diversity, and if your all white neighborhood is so godforsaken, as you say, then why don't you move to the hood? See how that goes over for you.
Right.
What are you talking about? Oh, let the black folk come in, but they're not the kind of black folk you like. Okay.
Right. Okay. And that is also Free Blanche. He is Blanchard on Instagram. I've been following Blanche for a number of years, and Megan McGlover, and follow them on Instagram for, it's been probably about 5 years now, because I think I started watching them whenever, all this started in 2020. I'm thankful to have found their accounts on Instagram. They provide a lot of really great original content, thought-provoking, and so always doing collabs and stuff. So anyway, on that note, I think that we accomplished our agenda today, and so have to chug through it. And thank you for. Let me just make sure we're all good here. Yep. So okay. Well, thanks for hanging out with me today. Like and subscribe, and I'll catch you next time.